Welcome to World Shaping Leadership, housed by the Great British Foreign Affairs Podcast. Welcome back. We are live for day 3 of the challenge that is called Your Week of Possibility. And as you know, we're transforming ordinary weeks into extraordinary results. If you're catching this live on socials or you're listening on the podcast and you're not yet signed up, you're still very welcome. You can go to worldshapingleadership.com and sign up to be part of the challenge, and you'll receive a free planner and the daily trainings, and you can catch up on trainings that you've missed in the replays. And I'm wondering how the challenge is going for those of you who are taking part. I've been getting some great feedback, people particularly talking about the big rocks from day 1 and actually outlining decisions they've made that have been different to the ones they usually make, just keeping those big rocks top of mind. And then we came on yesterday to really tuning into authentically who you are, you being you. And somebody said to me, it's a long time since I've thought about things from that aspect. It's a long time since I tuned into who I am and how I like to work and how I want to live life. And so that's really encouraging. And I hope that those of you that have been thinking about this yesterday have had some moments that you were able to really connect with who you are, what you love, and how you get more of you into your week. So we are today, day 3, we're talking about energy mastery. And this is a concept where instead of looking at time management, we're going to look at energy management. Why? Why would we do this? Let's talk through the core concept. So we have 168 hours in a week. So 168 hours in a week. There is time. But equally at the same time, time can't be created. It is a fixed fact. We can't magic up time from places. We simply have 168 hours, and it's what we do with that matters. And yet energy is flexible. Energy can actually be created. And so we can really work with energy rather than working with time when we want to maximize our weeks and when we want to make our weeks count more towards our bigger goals and our bigger dreams, which is what we're doing this week. So let's think about why it matters about our energy levels. Of course, when we have more energy, we're more bright. We're sharper, we're focused, we're on it, or zingy, whatever words you want to give it. That feels very different to the opposite state. And the opposite, of course, we all know what it feels like. It's when we're low energy, we procrastinate, maybe we scroll, we kind of veg out, not in a nice, chilled, relaxing state, but just a sort of low energy state. And it's totally different to when we feel bright and on it. And why does it make a difference to spend more of our time in that higher level of energy? I'm going to describe 4 reasons why that's the case. Firstly, when we feel energetic, we are more productive. So more productive, more clarity, better decision making, and therefore better work, better output, and we're quicker at things. Secondly, when we're in that energetic state, we are more creative. So we're more creative, we're more imaginative, we have more vision. We can see further and higher than when we're feeling low energy and drained. We are thirdly, more present with people. When we're spending time with loved ones, we're spending time with friends, and even in our interactions with colleagues, in meetings, we are more present. We're there, we're listening, we're engaged, and we can really take on more levels of information and sort through that in our head and bring ourselves more to that moment. And finally, of course, if we stay in that energized state rather than low energy more of the time, we just are more resilient. We're much less prone to burnout. It's much more sustainable for the long term. And so we are a more resilient person. So why this week? Why do I care that we talk today about energy management and energy mastery? And the reason is I am really committed to helping you, those of you who are in the challenge and catching this on socials, to find at least half an hour a day in our whole week of 168 hours of high energy time that you can get really excited about and that you can put towards your big rocks, your bigger projects, and your bigger dreams. I absolutely know this is possible, and that's why we're focusing on it today. So energy is a very unique thing to each of us. What energizes and re-energizes you will be different to me, will be different to the next person. It's very unique, to building off yesterday where we looked at you being you. And so the way I'm going to do this training today is actually focus immediately on the exercise in the planner and just talk you through that, because that's where the power lies, in unlocking individually how each of us can feel energized and motivated and can avoid longer periods of that low energy drained state. So yeah, it's in your planner. Remember that if you haven't downloaded your planner yet, the links are in the emails that I've sent, or straight away when you sign up into the challenge. And the first part of the exercise today in the planner is, what are your energy drainers? So some of this will be instinctive and some you need to think a little bit more about. I want you to really consider, what are the activities in your week, particularly this week? What are your activities that just drain you? So they sort of suck the life out of you. Like, you go into them and you might be up for everything, and then you come out of them and you feel a bit exhausted, a bit drained. Your energy has gone down. And, there might be certain activities, things that feel harder to do or that don't suit like your skill set that well, but you have to do them. They might be certain activities. They might be negative or toxic things. They might be mental clutter, things that kind of distract and kind of catch your attention in lots of different directions. So what are those energy drainers for you that you have in your schedule today or this week? I'm not saying that you can avoid these energy drainers necessarily, but recognizing them is really important. And of course, we do want to remember what we talked about on day one. Some of these things usually can be said, we can say no to. So we talked on day one about what doesn't serve us in this season. Maybe it served us previously, but it doesn't now. So it's always worth that check as you look at the energy drainers. Are there any that you could let go of or say no to? If they aren't, if you can't say no to them, they have to be in there, then I want us this week to think about how we box those in. So how do we limit the amount of time and energy that they take from us? How do we just keep them within their parameters and don't let that energy drain seep into the rest of our afternoon or the rest of our evening, the bigger chunks of time we have? So how do you box it in is one of the questions that the planner asks. And also, how do we get out of it afterwards? You might know you've got a very draining meeting, but if you can know that ahead and you can plan straight afterwards that you're going to have a change of state, there's going to be something different that you do, then of course you are holding that energy drainer in together and it is not having that much of an impact on the rest of your day. So that's on the side of energy drains. And in the planner, I ask you to look at 3 energy drainers in your week, or that regularly come up in your schedule, to rank them. Really feel into like how much do they drain your energy, and also to just make some notes on that. And then we come to energizers. So, what are your unique energizers? What are the things that just lift you? They give you energy. They kind of stock you up again. There are universal energizers that we are used to talking and thinking about and trying to get more into our life, whether that's exercise, that might be nutrition, hydration, getting out in nature, the way we do our sleep, manage our sleep. So there's the universal things we know that are good for us. And then we've also got the approach from yesterday of the things that you love, the things that you are passionate about, that are authentically and only you. They are you being you, you doing you. Those things are almost always energy giving. So I'd love you to think about which are your 3 energizers that you can be drawing on more. And we want to get really good with this energy mastery. We just want to get really good at resetting our energy. So our energy will go up and down. We'll have energy drainers that come in. We'll have unexpected things. We'll have times when our adrenaline kicks in and we get into that fight or flight mode. But we want to be good at resetting our energy. And so today I'm just inviting you to think about those morning routines, those evening routines, and also that micro resetting, the few minutes when you want to encourage yourself to change state, breathing, box breathing, for example, or hydration or sunlight. Let's get really, really good at the energy resets that just lift us out of that state and allow us to then use our time differently and maximize our time. And I want to finish today's training with a takeaway. I just want us to really take a breath. And I want to encourage you that you absolutely do have the time for your bigger dreams, for your next season shift, for the bigger impact, the legacy defining impact you want to make, for your next adventure, or for the redesign of your life that you secretly dream of. You have the time for this next stage and this next season. The possibilities and the opportunities, as I said at the beginning of this week, are bigger and more expansive than you think. They're there, they're waiting for you, they're inviting you, and there is time for those things. We've been learning and working on creating the time for them. And today let's do that little bit of work on how we use energy management and energy mastery to find that time for those possibilities and opportunities that are there for us. I hope you found this training useful. Well done, and thank you for getting to this stage of day 3 of this week. Tomorrow, we're building on today. We're coming with more tips and techniques around how to find this time and space in our week for our next season. And so I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for listening to the Great British Foreign Affairs podcast, where Britain meets the world. Subscribe today, share it with a friend or colleague, and be part of shaping Britain's role on the global stage.